Recently, while campaigning for Kamala Harris, former President Barack Obama had a conversation with a group of African-American men, and he gave them some common sense, straight talk about why they would not, under normal circumstances, vote for Donald Trump. I'm going to play you that video in just a second, and again, it is just common sense. It is just plain old common sense. But what's the old saying? Common sense ain't all that common. All right, so before we get into it, before we watch this video, please go over to Amazon.com, grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice, so that you know all the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to save your son. Okay, so go over there and get your copy, and I promise you, you will thank me later. All right, so let's play the video that I'm talking about. Again, it's just Obama trying to talk some sense into some black guys. Now, I don't know if these guys were some of the ones who are planning to vote for Donald Trump or if he was talking to black male Trump supporters through these guys. I'm not sure. But let's listen to the video.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for them. So now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
That's just a big brother talking to some younger brothers. That's all that is. Just making it plain. Common sense. Who in their right minds would support someone, as Obama said, who has a history of denigrating you, of being racist towards you? Who in their right thinking would do that? I mean, you just wouldn't do that, say in your neighborhood. And there's somebody who doesn't like you, doesn't like your family, doesn't like your ethnicity. And they have a history of just treating you and those who look like you're inferior, like you're less than. He talks about you. He does whatever he can to harm your ethnicity. And yet you're going to support him when he wants to become, say, the mayor or become a city councilman or a school board member. You're going to support the person who has that history toward you and your people? Just think about that. That makes no sense whatsoever. I believe strongly, I've come to believe that a lot of you young brothers are the victims of disinformation. I got a video that's coming out where I'm going to show you how you have been made the victim over years. It didn't just start. Over many years, you have become the victims of disinformation. And this is coming from right-wing GOP operatives. This is coming from pro-black imposters. A lot of these folks on YouTube who are making excuses for all the racism that comes out of Trump's soul and out of his mouth. For a while, those pro-black imposters tried to make you think that they were really all about the black man. But as I said in a video a few months ago, you can't be pro-black and pro-Trump because Trump is anti-black. So how can you be pro-black and support an anti-black candidate? That doesn't make any sense. And even if it's, as Obama said, if it's because you got some issues with a black woman, my advice to you is to get over it. Because a black woman that you dislike, a progressive black woman at that, is so much better for you than a white supremacist. And I know the problem is you don't really understand what white supremacy is. You don't quite understand what it is. You hear the term all the time. You have heard it over the years, but you really don't understand what it is. Well, you're looking at the face of white supremacy when you look at Donald Trump, the face of it. And they have their white supremacist agenda, Project 2025. And oh, by the way, there's also something called Agenda 47 that Trump claims that he doesn't know what Project 2025 is, but he does openly embrace Agenda 47. And I'm going to show you Agenda 47 here. We're going to look at a few things in Agenda 47, and what you will see is black men are ignored in Agenda 47, except for one place. Let me show you what I mean. This is Trump's Agenda 47. Don't believe me? Just go to Google, type in Donald Trump Agenda 47. And here's what you'll find. Let's just look at some of the big things. And you will not find black men contemplated, promised anything in this Agenda 47. President Donald Trump declares war on cartels, ending veteran homelessness in America, no welfare for illegal aliens, the American Academy, Trump's message to America's auto workers, President Trump's plan to homeschool families. All of this is about whites. Homeschooling, auto workers, all of this is about white people. This has nothing to do with you, black man. Because as Obama pointed out, the only history that Trump has with you is denigrating you. You remember he took out the full-page ad to have the Central Park 5 executed? I heard a YouTuber say he doesn't care about that, a black YouTuber say he doesn't care about that. Well, you should care about that because that showed Donald Trump's heart toward you as a black man. So you should care about that. And any black man who tells you that they don't care about that, you should run from that black man. You should run from that black man. All right. Agenda 47, President Trump's 10 principles for great schools leading to great jobs. America must have the number one lowest cost energy and electricity on earth. What does any of this have directly to do with you, black men? Returning production of essential medicines back to America and ending Biden's pharmaceutical shortages. President Trump calls for death penalty for human traffickers. Rescuing America's auto industry from Joe Biden's disastrous job-killing policies. Rebuilding America's depleted military. Where are you at in all this? Protecting students from the radical left and Marxist maniacs infecting educational institutions. You are mentioned in here indirectly, but only in a negative way. Cementing fair and reciprocal trade with the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. Using impoundment to cut waste, stop inflation, and crush the deep state. Addressing rise of chronic childhood illnesses. Ending the scourge of drug addiction in America. Celebration of 250 years of American independence at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Where does any of this fit you? Where are you contemplated in this? Where are you promised something in this? And I'm asking that because why, therefore, are you supporting a person whose agenda omits you, ignores you? Day one executive order ending citizenship for children of illegals and outlawing birth tourism. Protecting students from the radical left and Marxist maniacs infecting educational institutions. Let's see what we see here. That has to do anything with you, black man. President Trump's plan to save American education and give power back to parents. President Trump's plan to protect children and left-wing gender insanity. President Trump calls for immediate de-escalation and peace. President Trump will build a new missile defense shield, stopping Chinese espionage. President Trump on making America energy independent again. President Trump announces plan to end crime and restore order. Here you are mentioned, rather it's indirectly, but we know who he's talking about. Okay, let's play the video here. You'll see what I mean.
Joe Biden and the Defund the Police Democrats have turned our once great cities into cesspools of bloodshed and crime. There's never been anything like it. Here's my plan to restore law and order in our cities and throughout our country, frankly. First, because police forces have been gutted by Democrats' war on police, I will sign a record investment in hiring, retention, and training for police officers nationwide, so important. This bill will also increase vital liability protections for officers because the Democrats want to take those protections away from our police because we want them to do their jobs, and we want them to do their jobs right. You can't take their protections away if you're going to have them do their jobs properly. Second, to qualify for this new funding and all other Justice Department grants, I will insist that local jurisdictions return to proven common-sense policing measures, such as stop and frisk. Very simple. You stop them and you frisk them. Strictly enforcing existing gun laws against convicted felons, cracking down on the open use of illegal drugs.
Stop and frisk.
Cooperating with
You heard it
ICE to
yourself.
get criminal aliens.
Stop and frisk. What does that mean? That means that he's going to have police officers across this country, when they see you as a black man, to slam you against a wall and frisk you without reasonable suspicion, without probable cause or anything else, just because you're black and a man. That's what he has planned for you. And he has this plan for inner city communities across America, because in his mind, that's where the crime is being committed by black people. He said that in a Detroit church. So that's what he has for you. Let's see if there's anything else in here for you. President Trump announced his plan to stop the American last warmongers and globalists. President Trump continues to lead on protecting Americans from radical leftist ESG investments. President Trump's new trade plan to protect American workers, reclaiming America's independence by slashing Biden's disastrous trade deficits, reversing Biden's EO embedding Marxism in the federal government. That means getting rid of all DEI. A new quantum leap to revolutionize the American standard of living, preventing World War III. Joe Biden has been disaster for the economy, ending Biden's war on suburbs that pushes the American dream further than reach. President Trump's plan to dismantle the deep state and return power to the American people, firing the radical Marxist prosecutors, destroying America. That indirectly affects you too, black man, because what he's saying is he's going to go after prosecutors who try to be fair toward you. He wants them to throw the book at you. And if they don't throw the book at you, he calls them Marxists, and he's going to unleash the DOJ on them. So first he's going to have cops with prosecutorial immunity that he wants to give them, meaning if they jack you up, beat you up, kill you or whatever, they can't be prosecuted. And they already have qualified immunity. And then he wants you to go in front of prosecutors who throw the book at you. This is what Trump's Agenda 47 has in store for you, black man. That's what he has in store for you. And you plan on voting, 20% of you under the age of 50. You plan on voting for him. Again, preventing World War III. Joe Biden has been a disaster for the economy, which is crazy. President Trump's plan to dismantle the deep state, liberating America from Biden's regulatory onslaught. That also indirectly affects you, black man, because if corporations can ignore regulations, they can make your communities very unsafe to live in. Okay? Yeah. So you're in here. You're in here, all right, but only in terms of being victimized by Trump white supremacist agenda. Free speech policy initiatives, total ban on taxpayer dollars, calls for a probe into intelligence community's role in online censorship, stop China from owning America, protect Medicare and Social Security. What does any of this have to do with you, black man? I'm telling you nothing except for the things that I showed you. So therefore, as Obama said, why in the world would you vote for a man like this? It is like voting for the slave master. It is like voting for the colonizer. That's what this is all about. That's how you look out here right now. That's exactly how you look. Like you're poised to vote for the colonizer, for the slave master. And that's what Obama's trying to get you to see, trying to get you to see beyond the disinformation that has been flooded into your brains. Wow. Let me show you one picture. And this is the reason why I would never, ever, 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 ever vote for Donald Trump. Because of that man right there. That's my father. He's passed. But I would never disgrace him by voting for somebody like Donald Trump. As Obama said, Trump has made some black men think that Trump's behavior is what manhood is all about. No. The man you're looking at, he showed me what manhood is all about. He showed me. You see, I have a point of reference. I know what manhood looks like. Donald Trump doesn't represent any of what my father did on a regular basis as he got up at 4:30 in the morning and went to jobs and had to deal with white supremacists just like Donald Trump. Yet he did so that he could put food on the table for 4 children. Yeah, he showed me. He showed me why I would never, ever vote for a white supremacist like Donald Trump. Never. And see, some of you, unfortunately, many of you, you didn't have a father figure like Obama said. You didn't have a father figure growing up, as Obama didn't have growing up, who showed you. I have a picture, a strong picture in my mind of what a man really looks like, and it's nothing like Donald Trump. My father was a hard-working, gentle, humble man who sacrificed his life for me, my siblings, my mother. He had a good name. He had great credit and never made more than $8 or $9 an hour his whole life. He grew up during Jim Crow, was born in the 1920s. He dealt with people just like Trump and just like the people that Trump has around him. Because it's not just Trump. It's all the people that Trump will bring to Washington with him. You have not thought this through. You have been the victim of disinformation, or you're just in rebellion, and or you just don't have this type of reference to refer to. And the other reason why I wouldn't vote for a man like Donald Trump is because I know that when my dad was on those jobs, working hard, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, getting to the job site before the boss does, leaving after the boss leaves, I know that men like Donald Trump would have crushed my father. Because Trump only sees black men as workers, pawns, to be used to make him money or to get him elected. He would have crushed somebody like my father, like the many black men he did crush. He denied black men the ability to rent his apartments. When he would go into his casinos, they would take black people off this casino floor because Trump didn't want to see them. And you're going to give him your vote of confidence. You're looking real crazy out here. Stop listening to these pro-black imposters and Byron Donalds and Candace Owens, at least they're being rewarded. You get nothing but stop and frisk and prosecutors who are going to throw the book at you. I am a criminal defense attorney, a civil rights lawyer. I know what the court system does to your behind every day. Don't you empower these people like this. Use your head. Use your head. I am Attorney Augustus Corbett, one half of the Defiant Lawyers. This is the content we bring you on a daily basis. Thank you for watching this video, and until the next time, peace.